Hi beautiful, welcome to my channel. In today's video I have a Sephora haul, one that went a little bit above what I expected because I mainly wanted to check out a bunch of new things that Sephora Collection launched, but then I stopped by the Eyeliner section and there were some things that had to come home with me. I cannot wait to show you everything. So if you're excited for today's video, please give it a thumbs up and let's go ahead and get started. Here are my goodies, and as I said, there are a lot of new things Sephora Collection, and you guys know Sephora Collection is pretty affordable, so I expected to come home with lots of things and not a stiff price. However, that quickly changed. Anyways, let's get started with everything I got. Sephora Collection has new foundation and concealer, so I had to grab those. This is the new Sephora Collection Best Skin Ever 16-Hour Wear Natural Finish Foundation. And the price of this one was $22. Now, if you don't know, Sephora Collection items, Sephora is an LVMH brand. The LVMH umbrella includes brands like Louis Vuitton, Christian Dior, Celine, Givenchy, Fendi, Marc Jacobs, and many more. And so they make very luxurious items, and so it is made in the same factories as some of these very pricey items. You can get these products pretty affordably, but they are very high quality. This one was made in France. I also got my hands on the new concealer, the Best Skin Ever concealer, and this is $16. This next product is not super new, it's new-ish, and I have been very curious about it, so I had to try it. I'm talking about the Sephora Collection Contour Stick. I got it in shade 1, color Fair, and this one was only $14. Next, the product that inspired this whole haul, because I saw that this was out and it was new, and I have a weak spot in my heart for pink translucent powders, and so I ran to my local Sephora to grab it. This is the new Blurred Loose Setting Powder in the shade 01, and you guys, this video almost didn't happen today because this was the one product that inspired this video and the one product that was not on the shelf. Thankfully, I had the best experience at my local Sephora this time around, and they were able to grab it from the back for me. Sometimes they don't love to check the back for you, but it worked out. The lady that helped me was incredibly nice, and she went and she double checked and it was in fact there. So very glad that that happened, and I'm very thankful. Did I say the price of this one? It was only $16. Sephora Collection also has new lip oils, so I had to, of course, grab one of those as well. This is the Oil Infusion, only $10, and I got the shade Dragon Fruit. I forgot to keep telling you where things were made. So these right here, the foundation, concealer, and powder were made in France, and then the lip oil and the contour were made in Italy. I have two more things from Sephora Collection. This right here, which is a limited edition release that I'm very excited about. It's called the Color Special Effects, and it is a liquid eyeshadow, a multi-chromatic liquid eyeshadow. This one also made in Italy, and the price of this one was $19. And then they also have multi-chromatic eyeliners. I plan to combine two colors that are very different from one another. This was $15 and this one was made in China. Those right there were the things that I planned to grab for this video and that I'm going to be putting on my face today. I'm going to do a wear test with them, tell you how things look at the end of the day. But I did not only come home with those very affordable items, I also came across the Danessa Myricks eyeshadow duos, and after I swatched them, I couldn't leave them in the store. They had to come home with me. I'm going to go ahead and swatch these for you, but these are not what I'm going to be wearing in today's video, so be on the lookout for a short or a reel over on my Instagram account where I try these, because I will certainly be making some content with them very soon. But I want to show you them. Let me go ahead and swatch them for you. It says they only have a 6-month shelf life. Hopefully that's a lie. Hopefully they last us a lot longer, because that would be a very short amount of time. And it is a pretty pricey item. This was definitely what drove up the price of my cart. These duos are $38 each. Now once you see them though, you'll see why I had to grab them. The first thing that immediately caught my eye was the size of them. These are huge. I'm going to put them next to a regular eyeshadow stick so you can see how big these are in comparison, because I saw these online and I didn't really gauge the size of them, and they're massive. This right here is the Laura Mercier eyeshadow stick, which I'm sure a lot of us are familiar with, and here's what the Danessa Myricks looks like in comparison. The packaging is definitely very luxurious, and here is, for example, the Urban Decay shadow sticks and what the Danessa Myricks duos look like in comparison. That is the other thing you do have to, I guess, keep in mind, is you're not getting one eyeshadow stick, you're getting two in each one of them, so you're paying what, $17-18 per eyeshadow stick. I guess if you look at it that way, they're not that crazy pricey. One of the duos I got has the shades Orion Nebula and Twilight Gleam, and I'm going to, of course, swatch them for you. Here's what Orion Nebula swatches like. These are super pigmented. They feel cool to the touch, and this side is pretty shiny, but not the shiniest. The other side is what definitely got me the most excited about these, because the shine is insane. So this is Twilight Gleam. I'm gonna swatch. Oh, it's such a pretty color. So take a look at the swatches right there. These are so beautiful, and the colors definitely work with one another really well. I can't wait to put them on my eyes. The other one that could not stay behind, that had to come home with me, was this duo right here, and the shades of this one are Meteorite and Draco. Let me go ahead and swatch Draco for you right here. It's a pretty dark gunmetal type shade with some silver sparkles. By the way, they come with these little plastic caps, and because the shelf life is so little, I would actually recommend storing them with the plastic cap on, because that will ensure that they last for much longer than the 6 months. And then the reason I had to grab this one is definitely this foil right here, because it's so beautiful. So take a look right here at the shade Meteorite. Oh, so stunning, so pretty. I love these duos. So if you want to see these and you're not subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe so that the video pops up for you whenever I do upload it. As you can see, I started by filling my eyebrows earlier. All of the products I used today, as per usual, will be listed and linked down below in the description box. I also moisturized before I started filming, and it is time to try the foundation. I'm going to use my moisturizer as a primer, and the moisturizer I used today was this SPF 50 mirrored one, which I have used and abused during this summer season. I love it. The foundation is a medium coverage foundation, and it has a natural finish. It says it is a long wearing formula that hydrates the skin for up to 16 hours with hyaluronic acid. It says it has a weightless, natural feel, that it corrects the look of skin unevenness and redness, and it's supposed to make the texture of your skin look like the best version of itself. It says that the non-transferable formula is 86% skincare based, and it is enriched with hyaluronic acid, and that following application the skin feels more moisturized and rested. You guys know I have very dry skin, and so all of that sounds like music to my ears. But I gotta say, when I tried it yesterday at the store, it didn't really feel hydrating to me. It felt more like a matte finish foundation. So now I'm more intrigued, actually, to see whether this foundation is actually good for dry skin or not. It actually, I don't see that it specifies skin type anywhere on the Sephora website. So let's just go ahead and go for it. The shade I got was 11 Yellow. I tried a few different ones, and this one just seemed, even though it has a yellow undertone, it seemed like the best option for me. 10C, which was 10 Cool, seemed a bit too light and a bit too pink. So let's just go ahead and try it. I went ahead and pumped it on the back of my hand, and with my BK Beauty brush I'm going to blend it out, which reminds me, BK Beauty is having their best sale of the year right now, which is their anniversary sale. They're turning 6 years old, and they have 35% off, I believe site-wide, but I could be wrong. The link is down below in the description box, so definitely check it out if you've ever been interested in the BK 101. I highly recommend the 115. It's a bit smaller than this one, and it works like a dream. The 109 is also a favorite of mine for concealer. So anyways, if you've been interested in BK Beauty brushes, I have the link down below for you. Definitely check them out. This is the best time to do it because they are on sale. I'm blending the foundation all throughout the face, and as you can see, it does have an undertone that is not my perfect one. It's a bit yellow, but I feel like I can make it work. So let's just keep going. And it does seem to have a medium coverage. I put it over my nose and I can still see my freckles through. But my redness is pretty much covered everywhere I applied the foundation. And as you can see, now that it's blended out, it doesn't really look that different. It just covered all of the redness on my face. Feeling wise though, it doesn't feel like a very hydrating foundation to me, despite the claims. Yes, it has a natural finish as of right now, but if it has a natural finish freshly applied on my super dry skin, I feel like it will get matte throughout the day and maybe even make me look a little bit dry, but time will tell. As I said, I want to do a wear test today, so we will let time determine whether or not I'm wrong. It's definitely not sticky. It feels pretty dry already, even though it's freshly applied. I'm going to use a little bit of my Charlotte color corrector for the inner corners of my eye here and my under eye. And let's try the concealer next, which says it is a buildable medium coverage concealer with long wearing formula. It hydrates the skin, hyaluronic acid, up to 16 hours of wear, just like the foundation. 75% skincare base, improves skin's appearance, resulting in your skin feeling more moisturized and looking brightened. So very similar to the claims of the foundation. And in this one I got shade 07 Neutral. There is a shade that would absolutely be a better match for me, and I believe it was 09 Neutral, but they were sold out of it at my local store. So I went for the brighter shade instead, and hopefully I can make this one work just fine. I'm just doing some dots under the eyes. And I'm going to blend it in with the tip of my sponge. That blended in beautifully. I must say that. It blended in an instant. And it's actually not as light of a shade as I thought it would be. So we're good in the color respect, which is the one thing that I was worried about. I like that it's a very thin concealer formula. Time for the contour, which says it is a cream to powder contouring stick that blends effortlessly to create a lightweight and naturally sculpted look in seconds. The color of this one reminded me a lot of my Dior contour stick, which I really love. Actually, it's a bit lighter now that I'm trying it on, but the Dior one also has a pretty cool, actually, maybe they're not that similar. I lied. Yeah, it did remind me of it yesterday when I swatched it in the store, but now that I see it on, they're not the same. So I'm blending it out with my BK Beauty 109 brush. It is instantly disappearing into the face, which is a good thing, and leaving behind a very faint grayish type shadow. I don't know that I love this one. I thought it would be different. I thought we would have a bit more oomph to it. It's very, very gray. Don't worry, I'm not going to look this ashy when we're done with this video because I have a bronzer to put on top. Not loving the shade 01 on me. Time for bronzer. I'm not going to build up that contour because you guys saw it just looks very gray on my complexion. So I'm going to use the Sephora Collection bronzer next. This isn't new. This isn't from this haul. I've had this in my collection for a few months now. I actually really like it. It blends out nicely and it is nice and neutral to cool tone, which is honestly all I ask for a bronzer to do besides blend nicely, which this one also does. So if you're looking to find an affordable bronzer, I recommend this one. It's nice, it's smoothing, really good for the price, honestly. And you see that I'm getting some color back into my face now. Now time for one of the products that I've been most excited about, which is this Blur powder from Sephora, and it comes with a little tiny puff. The packaging of it is extra exciting because I love a sifter, and this one has one of those perfect sifters. So once you open it, the puff is in here, and then once you open this, it has one of these mesh sifters that you can just press to get your powder out. Love that system. Definitely one of my favorite types of sifters for sure. And the powder has a pink undertone, which I am here for. Dusting off on my palm and then just dabbing it under the eye, and everything is immediately getting blurred. And let's do the forehead. The little bit of shine that was left in the center of my forehead fully went away. The powder feels incredible. It reminds me a lot of my Dennis & Myricks powder. You guys know that's my absolute favorite powder. So if you're on the hunt for a new translucent powder, I really love this one. It feels incredible. It's extremely thin. It blurred everything to perfection and it's not making me look dry, which is honestly what matters most over here. It's fantastic. I really like it. I don't know how I want to use this colorful special effects liquid shadow, so I guess I'll go for it and see how it blends and then assess. So I just applied some right in the center, and with a fluffy brush I'm going to see how it blends in case I could just use it as a one and done shadow, because that would be ideal. That looks promising. I'm going to add a little more and immediately go in and blend it. I like that. I can work with that. Obviously we're going to make it more potent, but I wanted to see if I could blend it out so that I could just use it on its own, and it's seeming like it's a possibility. So now I'm adding a layer all over the eye, and this time I'm only going to blend the edge. That looks freaking awesome. I love that. Let's see if I can repeat it on the other side. That'll be the tricky part. So I'm gonna do the same thing I just did. I'm going to apply it in the center first just to see if I can blend it nicely. And I'm trying to be speedy with it because once this sets, I don't think you can move it any further. So that's why I applied it in the way that I did, but it seemed to work nicely. So I'm on to step number 2, which is dragging it all over and blending the edge. And I'm gonna put some under my eye. I just want to use this shadow. So I'm doing a little bit with the tip of the doe foot applicator, and then with a tiny flat brush, I'm going to connect it back here. Now, because it's still wet and I have been batting my eyes, it did crease here a bit. So I'm going to fix that, and I'm going to keep my eyes closed-ish. I'm going to keep my lids straight, if you will, until it fully dries down, because that way it will not crease. So we're just going to do one of these. I feel like that should be dry now, and the fun part is this eyeliner, which is a very different color. We are going a little crazy with eyeshadow today. Take a look right there. It's either going to look blue or green. It looks green on the screen, but if I look at it from this angle, it looks blue to me. So I think for you it's going to look green. Anyways, I am going to do a half wing with it. Wish me luck. I think that's looking pretty cool. Let's see. I'm going to take it at least halfway in. Check it out right there. These are pretty creamy, which is exciting. And I went ahead and took it further in because it's a fun eyeliner. I usually, like with black eyeliners or brown eyeliners, I don't take it in as far, but this is fun. I'm also going to use this for my waterline. And the reason I picked these colors is because they were contrasting colors and I wanted to have this contrast I'm showing you. So I'm pretty excited. I like the way this looks. I know it's a bit out there, but I like it. Let me know what you think in the comments. For blush today, I'm going to use my Anastasia blush trio, and I'm just going to simply grab this peachy shade right here at the bottom. I feel like this should match this eyeshadow look okay. If not, we'll go into this one as well. It's looking like we'll go into that one as well. So I'm going to bring my brush into this one too, and then top off the blush with the darker color. And that's a better match for this eyeshadow for sure. I went ahead and applied some Ardell Wispies because this bold eyeshadow look definitely needed them. And I'm going to do just a bit of lip liner before I do the lip oil. I always like to define my lips. So this is the Charlotte Tilbury Medium Lip Liner Duo, and I'm going to use the sculpting side just to give the lips a little bit of shaping. Here are the lips lined, and the last product I am putting on today is on my teeth is the lip oil. It smells really good and it's not sticky, which I expected because it's a lip oil. Oh, it feels really nice. The eyes are definitely bold, but I wanted to try the multi-chrome eyeshadows and eyeliners, and so here is what I came up with for those. The complexion is looking nice, and I gotta say I thought the foundation would already be looking matte from like my first impressions when I first put it on, but it is not. It is actually having a beautiful natural finish to it still. It does not look dry anywhere on my face. I am assessing with a mirror. and everything so far looks very beautiful and very natural. So what I'll do is I'll just check in with you in a few hours and see how things are wearing. I'm not even going to set it with any setting spray. I want to truly just test out the makeup I have on. So I'll see you guys in a bit. Hi guys, it's been a couple of hours and the makeup is looking pretty fabulous. Not dry at all. Everywhere except my nose. My nose, for some reason, is kind of breaking apart the makeup a bit. But everywhere else, it looks very fabulous. So I don't know what the nose thing is about, because I feel like usually my nose doesn't really have many makeup issues. But for some reason with these products, the nose is just not having it. As you can see, we're playing. I'll see you guys later. I'm editing the same video you're watching. It's been 6 hours since I've been wearing this makeup. Here's how things are looking. It honestly pretty much looks like the same as it did during my last check-in, which was pretty like flawless everywhere. I'm not really having any dryness around my mouth or anything. Things are looking pretty good. It was just my nose where the makeup had a little bit of trouble. The concealer ended up creasing just a tiny bit underneath my eyes. I hadn't noticed it until right now. So I'll have to further assess what could have caused that bit of creasing underneath my eyes. It's honestly not a big deal because the concealer was very lightweight. The powder was also very lightweight, so it's not super noticeable, but it did crease. And the forehead is looking pretty fabulous. So that is the second check-in. And then I'll just see you back in my beauty room in around a couple of hours. It's 9:30. I started filming this video at nap time, which today was at 1 p.m. So I've worn this makeup now for 8.5 hours. I'm exhausted. I don't know if you can tell on my face, but what I can tell on my face is that the makeup looks stunning. 8.5 hours in. First of all, the eyeshadow did not move, did not budge, very long lasting. Remember to simply just let it dry before you start blinking and it won't crease. The complexion looks really nice. The only issue is like around my nose area. I do feel like the makeup wore off a little bit, but because my nose isn't necessarily a problem area of mine, it's not that noticeable. It simply just wore off a little. The tip of my nose, you can see that it's a bit more pink, but it could be passed as blush. But everywhere else, the makeup looks incredible, especially for how long it's been. Now what I will say is, if you have dry skin like mine, while the foundation looks really good still and did not dry out or create texture on my skin or anything like that, it is, I would say, a matte finish foundation on us dry girls. Like from the moment I put it on, I was like, this is kind of matte. And all day, I just, you know, the face looks really good, but I do feel like it has more of a matte finish on me than anything else. Any glow you might see on my cheeks is from the Anastasia blush that I dabbed over top of the foundation, because the foundation looks pretty natural to matte everywhere on my face. So keep that in mind. That does have to be like your preference if you want to truly love this foundation. As far as the longevity of it is concerned, it did wear for 8.5 hours beautifully. I have no complaints. The eyeshadow wore beautifully, have no complaints. As far as the creasing under my eyes, it is honestly barely noticeable, and I did thoroughly enjoy the new Sephora Collection Blur It powder. I think this is a fantastic product and I cannot wait to continue using it and to try it over a bunch of my like regular favorite concealers, because I just have a feeling that this is going to become a favorite of mine. It is just so similar to my Dennis & Myricks pink translucent powder, and that is my number one. So I just have a good feeling about this one. I think this is going to be an absolute hit. The oil infusion gloss did wear off rather quickly, but oils just don't have the longest staying powers, so that's kind of a given and not necessarily a complaint. Overall, I really have nothing to complain about today. I forgot about this one. I hated this. This is a no, and it's not the formula. The formula was pretty good. If you are around my complexion, shade fair to light will not show up on you. it barely showed up on me. So maybe if I go up a shade, I could make it work, but the fair to light shade, which should be the one that matches me, no, goes down. It has a really great undertone, and I don't know who could make this work for them. I know someone out there will, but on me, it definitely looked extremely ashy, and so this is the only product I tried today that I do not recommend. As far as the foundation, very long lasting, wears beautifully all day. It does have a matte finish, but a beautiful, seamless, lightweight matte finish, and that is amazing. And the concealer I thought was pretty good. Nice medium buildable coverage and extremely thin. The foundation also very thin, which I truly appreciate. The powder was incredible. And the eye products, you can judge for yourself. If this is your vibe, absolutely go for it. I was very surprised that I was able to blend out this multi-chromatic shade to look the way it looks on the crease of my eye, and that I was able to do a one and done eyeshadow look with it. I feel like that definitely deserves praise. And the eyeliner, honestly, spectacular. So not much to complain about today. If you're interested in any of these products, I have them linked throughout the video. I have them linked down below in the description box of this video. And that is it from me. If you guys liked today's video, give it a thumbs up before you leave. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you have not already. I love you all so much. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you back in the next one. Bye.